You're watching ESPN High School Basketball, and welcome to Columbus, Ohio, for what promises to be a special night. LeBron James is here to watch his son Bronny play a high school game in person for the first time. Freshman Bronny and Sierra Canyon are here to face his dad's alma mater, St. Vincent St. Mary. Ted Emmerich, Paul Biancardi, and Rachel Nichols. And Rachel, we can all see why Sierra Canyon is the biggest spectacle in high school basketball.
Absolutely. You know, I just walked into the building with LeBron, and he said it was so emotional knowing he was going to, first of all, just see his kid play for the first time. He knows how fortunate he is to be an NBA player, but it also means he misses a lot of the dad stuff, and he hasn't been able to go to a single one of Bronny's games, so that feels special. And then, of course, in this crazy environment, getting to see Bronny against his old school. You know, the uniforms the St. V's kids are wearing tonight, he paid for them. He helped refurbish that after him. And of course, the original idea was to have this game at the arena that's named after him back in Akron, but there's just been so much interest. See, there's 13,000 people in the building here tonight. They couldn't have that back at that high school gym in Akron. And even Drake is out and Instagramming himself in Sierra Canyon gear. Interested in Bronny's career. Guys, I got to tell you, it's a little bit surreal for me also. You know, this week marks 17 years today that LeBron played his first ESPN national televised game. I watched a couple of LeBron's games to cover him. Was going to be coming to the NBA as the potential first time I. And to sit here and watch his 15-year-old son, it's like watching his past and some of the rest of our past too run through this building. I think it's going to be a very heartfelt night for the entire James family. And
Rachel, we are so glad that you could be with us. Now, Paul, Sierra Canyon is a lot more than just Bronny James. They have one of the top players in the class of 2020 in B.J. Boston.
Yes, B.J. Boston is all about getting buckets. Long frame, athletic, scores the ball from all three levels. He is one of the most creative and exciting players in the high school game.
In all, 3 ESPN-ranked players for Sierra Canyon, including Amari Bailey, top 10 sophomore in the class of 2022, Taryn Frank as well. Number 79 in the ESPN 100, the senior class. He has signed with TCU. And actually, Paul, for the second straight game, B.J. Boston is going to come off the bench for Sierra Canyon. Meanwhile, for St. Vincent St. Mary from Akron, Malachi Branham, the name to know, an ESPN 60 player in the junior class.
A big-time scoring wing at 6'5", crafty with the ball, good outside shooter. We've got talent. We've got high major programs in the high school level, and we got LeBron James sitting to our left.
Sierra Canyon played a game at the American Airlines Center, the home of the Dallas Mavericks, over Thanksgiving. About 10,000 people attended that one, and for a game like this, they needed a nationwide arena, home of the Columbus Blue Jackets in the NHL. Sierra Canyon in the navy blue, St. Vincent St. Mary in the white, and the first bucket comes from Harold Yu, 7 feet 3 inches from China. Scottsdale, Arizona, beating a good Millennium team. Sophomore Shy Odom drained on the other side for St. Vincent St. Mary. Of course, coached LeBron his junior and senior year of high school. 5 state championships overall, 4 of them without LeBron. This program has not disappeared since LeBron graduated and went to the NBA.
Drew Joyce is a fixture in the city of Akron. Player development, championship teams, guys going on to play college basketball, not just at the Division I level, but small college basketball. Strategy can hold up, and they want to run, and Sierra Canyon wants to run.
2-on-1 here, and Branham finishes the alley-oop.
On the table, and you can see why.
Marcus Johnson trying to come up with the steal. Loose right in front of us. Frank throwing it to Bailey. And it leads to an and one. Shy Odom puts it in for Sierra Canyon.
Die for it, pick it up, throw it to his teammate, Bailey, and then the finish by Odom. That doesn't happen on offense, and he brings a good energy level to the table.
Number 0 in the Navy for Sierra Canyon. Now Branham knocks down a 3. First the jam, now the triple for Malachi to play for St. Vincent St. Mary since LeBron. Darren Frank to the glass, and he puts it in.
When he gets to be a junior and senior, he'll be one of the better players in the Big 12.
And goal off the screen. Marcus Johnson is working on that 15-footer, and he drains it. And Frank knocks down the three. Sierra Canyon is within a point.
Darren Frank continues to impress.
Bron's alma mater on the opposite side of Bronny James, who came in off the bench 3 minutes in and is out there at the moment, number 0 in the Navy. Malachi Branham, number 28 in the ESPN 60, got rejected. And Amari Bailey scoops it in, top 10 player in the sophomore class. And a turnover.
We got to change that.
Ramar Pryor finishes at the other end off the turnover by Frank. Just as a kid.
30-year-olds play video games.
Yeah.
Everybody plays video games.
Bronny from the outside, too strong. Boston offensive rebound, and he flips it in. Remember, LeBron started his freshman year at 6'1", ended it at 6'4", and Bronny James has 2 more. He continues to grow on and off the court, and Dad is fired up.
I remember watching LeBron as a freshman. Passion, heart.
Bronny trying the Euro step, lost it, but Shai Odom cleans it up. Oh, you mentioned it when you were an assistant here in Columbus at Ohio State. As Branham misses the jumper, offensive rebound put back by Ingold. You recruited LeBron early in his high school career before turnover by Sierra Canyon. Again, Joyce has assembled a remarkable program here in the state of Ohio with St. Vincent St. Mary. Much more than just LeBron James for the 2 years that he had him as the head coach. Pryor hits the three. And St. Vincent St. Mary.
This place went crazy, and you realize I'm actually here for the first time getting to watch my son play.
I think I was a lot more nervous than my son, you know, coming in here and, you know, just being such a surreal moment, you know, for myself, for our family, for Bronny himself. It's pretty cool.
And it's not just that you're getting to see him play for the first time. He is playing, of course, against your old high school, and you've stayed so connected to St. V's. You refurbished their gym. It's now named after you. You provided them with these arenas, with these uniforms that they're wearing against your son tonight. Is it strange cheering against them?
Yeah, absolutely. I told my wife I needed to do, you know, what Steph Curry's mom always do and get to have St. Vincent St. Mary and have Sierra Canyon jersey for this game. But, you know, my heart is always going to be with St. V. Coach Drew is like a father to me, a father figure. He taught me so much, not only about the game of basketball, but about life and what it means to be a young man off the floor. So I'm always going to be indebted with St. V and Coach Drew. And, you know, it's just, like I said, it's like full circle that I'm here in my home state. My son is here with his high school playing my alma mater, and all my guys from my high school, the Fab Five, is here tonight as well. So it's crazy.
You kept using words the last couple days like surreal, emotional, and the fact that you are here with your guys. You had dinner before this game with all your old teammates. It's like a homecoming.
It is a homecoming. You know, we don't get to spend as much time as we would like to, but anytime we get back together, we pick it off right where we left off. So, you know, to have my guys here, to see Coach Drew, to see, you know, St. Vincent St. Mary and the fans here, and then to see Sierra Canyon and my son, it's just, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. That's how cool it is. It just doesn't make sense.
Now, I mentioned this is the first game you've gotten to see in person. I've seen you after games. You've got the phone out. You've got the iPad out. You're streaming. You got your feet in a bucket of ice, and you're still watching your son. I've heard that you scream on the team plane, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, he's watching another game of his kid. How different is it getting to actually be here? And now you are still yelling, but he can hear you this time.
No, he can't hear me. Hopefully I'm not too loud, and I'm distracting him from what the main thing is, and that's just trying to win. So. But I'm just so proud of, you know, not only Bronny, but Bryce and Zuri, my 3 kids. We just try to raise them the right way to be, you know, like I said, great in the community, be great to their teammates or classmates or whatever the case may be, and, you know, represent the James name, you know, with the utmost respect, you know, to everybody. So, you know, like I said, it's an honor for us to even be here. It's an honor for myself to have my family here and for us to be watching such a beautiful game.
This is the one guy for Sierra Canyon who can really go off to help B.J. Boston.
Frank triggers the three. Too strong.
Bailey's been quiet in this game.
Harris off the window for 2. St. V reclaims the lead.
They're certainly not the bigger team. but they're just as tough.
Harris, the floater, drops in. Sincere Harris with another bucket. First year transferring from North Canton Hoover. Harris had only 2 points in the first half. Third straight turnover by Sierra Canyon. Branham, the run out, and the bucket.
3 consecutive steals. Sierra Canyon wants a timeout.
Andre Chevalier wants to talk about it with his team and stem the tide because St. Vincent St. Mary has opened up a 6-point lead.
Quick hands lead to quick runouts. Malachi Branham, great catch, slowed down.
The bench here in the second half. Number 0 in the Navy. Here he is in the corner. Little runner from about 17 feet, and now Bronny's in double figures.
Yep.
Close to the paint. Skill level shown by the 15-year-old. And speaking of skill level, how about Isaiah Ingold going reverse side for St. V?
Corner. He'll get it right now. He drives the closeout. He goes off of 1 foot. That is a long runner.
Including Sierra Canyon. We'll tell you more about that here in just a moment. Here's Bronny James.
Yeah, the other thing Bronny James has to do, and oh, that's a beautiful scoop.
With the left hand, now 12 points for Bronny.
When he hits that growth spurt like LeBron did as a freshman, that's when you'll see his game elevate. Has good instincts of where to go and when it's open. And this time with the left hand, little hang time. And what's Dad got to say? That's my boy.
Down by 2 as we start the fourth.
Bronny's given his team a great offensive spark in this game.
The crossover and a long 2 from Sincere Harris.
He's played the role of Batman in his old high school. He's got to play a little bit of Robin right now because of Malachi Branham, but they play off each other so well.
Bank open on the weekend for B.J. Boston, the Kentucky signee.
Oh, he slipped.
Yeah.
He slipped because I thought Sincere Harris did a nice.
And Harris has assessed the foul. Zaire Wade, D. Wade's son, out again tonight. He missed last Saturday's game at Hoop Hall West in Scottsdale, Arizona with the ankle injury. He is on the mend. Sierra Canyon starting point guard.
And this team really needs him because he gets them organized.
Fine, 44 all. Branham, the misfire. Johnson, the offensive rebound, and it bounces in.
Marcus Johnson, away from the basket, try to drive him or shoot him.
Now, that's not what Sierra Canyon wants. Morris, 5'7", number 4 in the Navy, as Branham on the opposite block puts it in off the window. Of Dwayne Wade in the game for the first time here in the fourth quarter. Bailey, 3-ball from the corner for Sierra Canyon. Big shot. It's a 1-point game.
You can see Sierra, who played at Duke.
Yep.
Now
breakout year with the Pelicans.
Yeah, with the Pelicans. Was with the Lakers, I was
Yep.
going to say, but that long, smooth, silky game with the ball in his hands, always trying to get you off balance, can score from 3 different levels.
Timeout Sierra Canyon after Branham hit the jumper to make it a 3-point lead. Well, B.J. Boston is the highest ranked player for Sierra Canyon, but Bronny James is the story. The freshman in double digits tonight, and he got going in the second quarter.
Well, I watched him this summer, and I've watched him this year so far, and this by far has been his best performance. Scoring in a variety of ways off the dribble, showed the float game, running in transition, and LeBron and Savannah very happy as parents of his team. And I watch that stuff closely, what guys do when they're not in the game on the bench. His body language is good. He's going to continue to get better and better.
Harris leaning in, he scoops it in for St. Vincent St. Mary. Bailey rushing in, offensive foul.
Bailey out of control on that.
Sierra Canyon.
But there's plenty of time for a team that scores the ball so well.
Frank in and out in the baseline J. Boston picks it up, swatted by Harris. The wraparound feed, and Odom is fouled. Shy Odom will be at the line after the timeout. Yeah, some barking now in the final minutes of regulation.
Sincere Harris, 4 in the white, says, "Give me some of that!" Here in Columbus, Ohio, St. Vincent St. Mary. Suggs, the Buzz is Gonzaga. Greg Brown from Texas has Memphis, Auburn, and Kentucky. A lot of talent on the board.
Boston off the steal, he lays it in. We are tied at 52. In the corner. Malachi Branham, St. V's leading scorer, the scoop. St. V on top. James is on Isaiah Ingle. Ingle finds Johnson inside.
Marcus Johnson.
Across the floor, Bronny James catching fire. Boston is there for the stick back and a timeout for Sierra Canyon. With 1:02 remaining, the Trailblazers are down by 1.
What action up and down. Bronny James, little fadeaway, pulled back. And there is BJ Boston on the glass, as he's been all game long. I've been impressed with BJ Boston coming off the bench.
Sending St. V to the line. Otherwise, the Irish can just run it out. Oh, the deflection and the steal by Bronny James, and the finger roll off the glass. Bronny has given Sierra Canyon the lead.
Well, if that becomes the game winner, turn that into SportsCenter top 10.
Harris fouled with 39.1.
Gets the steal. He finds his way to the basket. For a minute there, I thought he was going to take off and try to punch it. And Dad is so happy. Official saying, "Step back, sir. Step back, Dad."
And Mom,
and
Savannah.
No, she's much more
excited.
reserved. He'd love to make the assist, and he would handle the basketball.
Harris trying to tie it. He does. No, it's waved off because of the lane violation. Stepping in too early. Did they call it on Marcus Johnson? Let's take a look. Wave off the made free throw.
Let's see what happens here. Ball's up. No, Harris crosses the line before the ball hits the rim. Official waves it off. Now you got a trap. You've got about 2 traps before you have to foul.
And St. Vincent St. Mary has a foul to give. Under 30 seconds. Timeout with Terrence Frank in trouble. 27.2. Undefeated. They've got Minnesota tomorrow.
Hard traps. Now you got to think about fouling.
It's Frank. Marcus Johnson gives him a hug with 12.5 seconds to go. And the future TCU Horned Frog try to
with a chance to tie or take the lead.
Always important to make that first one.
So now it's going to be a 3-point shot or a 2-point shot with 12.5. You got to go for the 3 if you're down 3.
Frank nails at the line. 3-point lead.
Crunch time free throws by Terrence Frank. Taking this much time, you got to go for the 3.
In goal. Johnson over Frank. Oh, way off. Odom the rebound and the foul with 0.3 of a second remaining. LeBron applauding the effort. Sierra Canyon trailed for a good part of this one.
St. Vincent St. Mary did a lot to win this game, but Sierra Canyon, too many weapons at the end. BJ Boston in the second half. And for LeBron, you think about this as a parent and as a former player at St. Vincent St. Mary. You saw your alma mater play an unbelievable game in front of a packed house against your son's current high school team. And your son, by the way, Bronny James, was fabulous tonight and a big reason if Sierra Canyon wins this game.
It's the front end of the 1-and-1. Doesn't matter. That's it here in Columbus. Bronny James with the best performance of his young high school career. The 15-year-old freshman back in the state of Ohio with his dad looking on courtside. And Sierra Canyon pulls it out 59-56 against LeBron's alma mater, St. Vincent St. Mary. Bronny James was spectacular coming off the bench.
Yeah, he was fabulous. Sparked the team in the transition game. He made some beautiful floaters. How about the drive with the left hand? The defense in the second half, the deflection, the push, and the layup. Bronny James and Dad just so happy. Referee trying to get him under control, but Bronny James off the bench was the catalyst for Sierra Canyon tonight.
LeBron, of course, always the catalyst for whatever team he is on. He led a comeback victory with the Lakers in Miami last night. And Bronny giving Sierra Canyon a boost off the bench here tonight. 15 points, 8 of them coming in the second quarter. And Sierra Canyon stays perfect. Now 8-0 as they knock off St. Vincent St. Mary. All smiles for Bronny and the Trailblazers. $13,000 were here tonight to check out the show that is Sierra Canyon. We have documented Bronny James, of course, but as we all know, Sierra Canyon is so much more than just Bronny. B.J. Boston, the 12th ranked player in the ESPN 100, joining us courtside now. Ted Emmerich, Paul Biancardi. This was a tough game.
Yes, sir.
Just as you expected coming in. Coming to Ohio, you're traveling all around the country this year. What allowed you guys to come from behind and pull this game out?
You know, at halftime, our coaches told us we came out slow, soft, and not playing SC basketball. So I feel like that talk just brought us more together, and we had to play harder on defensive end.
And Bronny gave you a big spark off the bench. Describe his performance tonight.
It was outstanding. I'm proud of him. You know, I told him just keep going because it's his state. You know, it's in front of his whole family. Just keep going.
BJ, what allowed you to elevate your game in the fourth quarter when it counted the most?
You know, my team, I think we're a good team, but, you know, I had to step up as the leader of the fourth quarter just to get the game in our hands.
You've been having some big games, and you're coming off the bench. What's the strategy behind you coming off the bench?
You know, me coming off the bench, I can see the game before I get on the floor. You know, I can navigate through where I need to be.
BJ, of course, you're committed to Kentucky, signed, in fact, with John Calipari and the Wildcats.
Yes, sir.
What stood out to you about Kentucky over everything else?
No, Kentucky, I like how they recruited me and my family, the coaching staff. They kept it real through the whole process. You know, I feel like I can get better there, and they know the goal that the players want to get to.
You're one of the best scoring guards in the class. What do you feel you need to improve upon between now and when you get to Kentucky?
Now when I get to Kentucky, I feel like just playing my game, you know, not worried about nothing else, you know, getting stronger and just elevate my game to the next level.
What's your game?
Versatile, I can play anything. I can do defensive jobs. I can play 1 through the 3. I can bring the ball up, pass, get my team involved, all of it.
Boston gets buckets?
Yes, sir.
Is that your game?
BJ, 13,000 we're here tonight. Of course, LeBron is right there courtside. What is it like as a high school player with this kind of atmosphere?
It's crazy, you know. Not a lot of kids really get this opportunity. So, you know, I just tell the team, I tell them, yo, you got to be ready for it. You know, we got to play like we've been here before and just be ready to play.
BJ, congratulations.
Thank you.
On the victory, still undefeated.
Yes, sir.
And off you go. We will see you in Minneapolis in the new year, 2020.
Thank you.
It is big matchup after big matchup for Sierra Canyon. And the wide grin from Bronny James and Dad LeBron as Sierra Canyon wins it 59-56. And again, coming up, more games on the ESPN networks for Sierra Canyon. Your next opportunity to check out the Trailblazers January 3rd on ESPN2 against the Patrick School and the #1 junior in the country, Jonathan Kuminga. The next night in the Target Center in Minneapolis, home of the Minnesota Timberwolves, taking on Jalen Suggs, Chet Holmgren, and Minnehaha Academy. Rancho Christian with the #1 player in the class of 2020, Evan Mobley, on the ESPN app. Then January 18th at Hoop Hall in Springfield, Mass. against Dominican from Wisconsin. January 20th on ESPNU against a top 10 team in the nation in Paul VI from Virginia. Paul, final thoughts tonight.
Well, Sierra Canyon came from behind to win this game. B.J. Boston gave them a big spark off the bench, and Bronny James, the Frenchman, was the catalyst for them tonight. Again, another team effort for Sierra Canyon.
59-56 the final. Sierra Canyon 8-0 on the year. Thanks so much for being with us. For Paul Biancardi, Rachel Nichols, and our entire crew, this is Ted Emmerich saying so long from Columbus.